This is my very first time in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm here for a very good reason. I'm interviewing Matt Damon and Casey Affleck for their brand new film, The Instigators, for Apple TV+. It's about two unlikely partners who go on the run after a robbery goes wrong. And this is a special movie for Matt Damon because it reunites him with his Bourne Identity director, Doug Liman. Doug Liman, oh my goodness, 20 years since Bourne Identity?
Yeah.
That's why, and I read too that you guys approached The Instigators similar to Bourne Identity in terms of the character building.
Yeah,
Did you feel that way?
Yeah, well, all of Doug's, like when he shoots a car chase, it's not just a car chase,
Yeah.
and he can do it as well as anybody, but it's always character driven. And we talked about that way back on the Bourne movie, on the first one, like the character needs to drive the action. The action can't just kind of happen. And that, like the point of that car chase isn't all the bells and whistles and it's all there in a helicopter and I think cars crashing all over the place, which is great, but it's what's going on inside the car and the dynamic between the characters. And I'm there and my psychiatrist is riding shotgun and he's in the back seat figuring out what's going on, and like there's just a lot going on in the movie at that you know, that kind of in that sequence, and that's the fun of it.
With Ben also being a producer on here, what's the biggest difference between the Affleck brothers?
Oh my God.
With them on set.
Do you have an hour? They're very similar in the sense that they're both creatively pretty tenacious.
Yeah.
They really want what's best for the movie. They're really, really focused on. They're just meticulous about making sure they get the best out of everybody on any given day. So I'd say more similarities than differences.
Do you feel that way too?
Do I think what he said is accurate? Yeah. It's not really our defining characteristics, maybe, but he's being nice. Meticulous.
Meticulous about getting it right, like tenacious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a compliment because he's a super smart, like incredibly smart, great filmmaker.
Yeah.
So. That's the nicest thing Matt's ever said about
me. Take it, I love it. So I heard that you two are very similar to your characters. Do you feel that way?
So, Casey,
I don't know why I suddenly felt insulted by that.
Sorry.
Wait, you mean a guy who never smiles and is totally humorless?
And a criminal?
And a criminal. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Okay, and we're done. Canadians are not that nice. But did you feel like what was it like on set with you two? Because you've known each other for years. Do you have that brother dynamic?
I mean, the thing is that like no matter what was written on the page, and it changed a lot, both in the pre-production and then in the making of the movie.
Yeah.
You get on set and you're with people you've known a really long time.
Yeah.
Matt's worked with Doug and known him a really long time. And so it all starts to, there are moments where our own relationship bubbles up to the surface a little bit and you just get relaxed and we're kind of bantering and it feels a little bit more like Matt and Casey than the parts. He's definitely more his part than I am my part. I'm acting.
Okay, just checking. Whose idea was it to get Jack Harlow on here? Because he's a good actor.
He's terrific.
I wanted more from him. He's great.
Yeah.
I know. It was kind of a bummer that he only got to be in the movie as long as he was in it.
Yeah.
Were you impressed with him?
Yeah, super impressed. Yeah, really. I mean, I knew him a little bit, so I knew that he was like a very smart guy, very creative. He has a lot going on more than just music, so it wasn't that much of a surprise that he showed up and he knew his stuff. But everyone was impressed.
The Canadian tuxedo. You knew I was coming?
Yeah, I knew you were going to come, and I wanted you to feel at home.
Thank you. Well, I do feel at home. This is amazing. You two must feel very at home, being able to film this film in Boston, doing the interviews in Boston. Does it add a little extra pressure, wanting to make sure this movie is that good for Boston?
Yeah. I mean, always, but I think we're selective about when we come back here and shoot.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been back since The Departed, so it had been a while. But this was just so funny, and the movie. It's obviously a much lighter movie than other stuff we've both shot here. But that was kind of the point. We wanted it to be fun and fast and kind of deliver that for the audience. You know?
I feel less pressure coming to Boston.
That's nice.
Because I feel like if I were going to go try to do a movie in Toronto and make it feel like it's really Toronto, I'd feel a certain nervousness. But here I feel like we know it so well, we can take certain liberties, Like once you know all the rules, then you can break them.
Yeah.
You might just be lazy.
Yeah, well, That's a given.
And The Instigators is now available on Apple TV+.